some things are really hard to form a hypothesis on. It's just like how do people even conceive these notions and do these studies or interpret studies this way, like facts that I really doubt is that you would need omega-3s. If you read the studies, it's there's no conclusive evidence or an actual physiological need for that type of acid, at least not the kind of pill from Arctic fish and some plants or such. I really want to see the evidence for the human need, or really mammal need for omega-3s. And the same goes for omega-6s. For other reasons, there's a lot more work done on omega-6s because there have been interest in them for over 100 years, while omega-3s are a more recent subject and recent consumer products. It was used for paint and stuff. Before that, that goes for omega-6 oils as well. I won't elaborate how this thing is so questionable and comes off like some sort of trend more than objective fact, and it's not me. And there should be debates about this, but I suspect there's a big industry, both in the fish oil business and omega-3 business, so that be the liquid oil business. But something that is strange in a similar way is sugars, and the idea that sugars are this really dangerous thing, and I really can't see how it would be that dangerous, because I mean, if it's the simple sugars that are a problem, wouldn't every starch be a problem as well? Since starches are made of glucose and are very fast broken down into glucose. But then people will tell you that white sugar metabolizes into is broken down into fructose and glucose, and somehow this goes faster than grains. Well, there's studies on that indicated that it's more the other way, that most simple sugars, most common simple sugars, seem to break down slower than starch. The exception would be things like pure glucose, but sucrose they seem to digest slowly, and thereby not spike insulin that much. And speaking about insulin, there's this sugar that is really demonized still today, and it's strange. The studies don't really seem to be on the sugar. It's confusing and strange, but it's fructose. And I will tell you that I have tried pure fructose, for a long time, and I haven't suffered any consequences, any bad consequences whatsoever, because it's simply a type of sugar with some unique properties. One of these properties is that fructose does not spike insulin at all. It seems like there's this superstition about, I would call it a superstition, or to be fair, notion that fructose is something that is dangerous because since it does not spike insulin or make the body, the pancreas secrete insulin, it will not go into tissues. It will just circulate around in the blood, fucking things up. And my own experience and other people's experiences and studies indicate that this doesn't really happen. And it's not really that strange when you think about it, because there are several ways sugars can get into tissues without insulin, and it would be strange blaming insulin for every single health problem, or even most health problems. I mean, if you really wanted avoiding spiking insulin, you shouldn't eat any proteins either, since most amino acids tend to spike insulin really well. And if you don't want to spike insulin, you will need some sort of diet consisting of only fats and fructose, since those types of macronutrients will not promote insulin secretion. And well, I just think it's strange. And fructose, this is pure fructose. This is not corn syrup or any such strange things. This is it German or is it Swedish? Scandinavian. Well, it's just pure fructose, made from starch indeed, but it's not a syrup. It's just like white sugar that tastes a bit like honey. Yeah, so that's it. There's a lot of strange things regarding physiology and diets on the web and on podcasts and forums and trends and such. And sometimes I get the feeling that diets, or those kind of diets and things, are more like group identity things. It's not always based in science. It's just like, we are the guys who eat like this, and those are the guys that eat like this. And in the lack of meaningful group identities, people just cling to some religious notion that everyone should eat a certain way, and this thing is really good and this thing is really bad, and they don't really get into the evidence, and some even seem to not care about whether some product really benefits them, or diet really can improve their conditions. It's just about being a member of that group. and that's fine because that is how humanity works. I mean, we need strong groups with identities to really be efficient. But you can have rituals without fooling yourself into unscientific things that, in the worst cases, will be harmful to your health, or just ignoring things that would be beneficial. I mean, you can have really cool rituals without subscribing to a certain diet or trend. I mean, I certainly have a special diet, but or no, not diet really, but not philosophy concept, nutrient concept, nutritional concept of how to eat and nutrients and stuff. But it's not a matter of belonging to a group. It's just that this is what I have tried. I know it works, and I constantly try to see what to improve on this type of way to eat. So yes, there's a lot of bullshit out there, and it's a mess. And just dig into it and try to find the empirical data and really analyze it, because there's so much confusion and boring, dreadful fucking trends and misconceptions and stuff. So, well, yes, down with these superstitions and witch persecutions. Let's just eat our fructose and ditch the fish oil for now, until we know if it really is beneficial or if it's just something that suppresses our immunity